Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We bring you stories of faith, love, and devotion. Yeah, just kidding, please help us grow by hitting that like button. Now on to the story. Need advice. Wife, 41F, won't stop talking to AP although I, 40M, asked her to stop. Advice. I found out the truth a couple days into a family vacation with WW and 2 kids. I posted previously in relationship_advice about this. I kept things hush until we got back and had a confrontation with WW after the kids were asleep. During the confrontation she refused to admit she did anything wrong even though I was insistent that I knew something was going on. I somehow thought she would admit but she would not. I told her that I read her texts and told her what I saw. Only then did she admit that she was having an affair. But she downplayed it by saying AP was a drug addict, he was young, 25 meters, and a former student of hers. She is a high school teacher. They shared an emotional connection because he lost a friend, and she lost her mother a couple years ago, and admitted that it went too far and it got physical and she is ashamed. It seemed like she was genuinely sorry for what she did. So yes, full EA and then PA. I said that I wanted her to cut it off if we have any chance of reconciliation. She did nothing that night as it was late and slept in a different room. The next day I told her again that she has to cut it off and I want to witness it. She sent him a text message that was really short and said, in the interests of my family we need to stop seeing each other. There was no response at that time. Pretty weak breakup in my opinion. She went to spend the night at an empty family friend's place as I said I needed space. No contact with AP that evening, well at least by phone or text, bath. Next day, I asked if AP wrote back. She said no, he didn't write back and that he won't. I told her that I don't believe that he didn't write back and that I want proof they are over. She says she doesn't want to phone him because it is already over. She refuses to let me see her phone though, as that is obviously an invasion of her privacy. The next day she sends me a text saying she got a response from AP with a snapshot of the text history. It was such a polite response. Okay, best of luck to you and your family. I am certain this was a fabrication. I mean, who ends a passionate relationship like that? I was really hoping that reconciliation would be an option after initial confrontation, but this looks like full-on affair fog to me. I can't believe anything she tells me. I told her I don't buy that they can end it like that, so abrupt and polite, after the connection they had. She insists there is nothing else she can show me. I guess she is deleting her texts now, so perhaps that is true. She wants to spend the night at the family friend's place again as she feels suffocated staying in the house. I am certain they will meet. Looking for some advice or maybe reassurance on what I should do. I'm trying to arrange a meeting with a lawyer. Do I just let her do her thing and proceed with planning for D? Try to bust her in the act? Gather more evidence? Should I get the family friend involved? Not sure if I can even trust them as close to her family. Get a meeting with a lawyer. Let her know that in absence of proof you are proceeding down a path of filing for divorce. Total verifiable North Carolina should be a boundary, and she lost her privacy right when she decided to cheat on you and repeatedly lie to you. Make sure the lawyer knows her AP is a drug addict. You need to protect your kids. She is almost certainly claiming she is staying with family and friends so she can communicate with her AP in peace. And as you said, most likely continuing to meet him. She should be able to tell you where she is staying, but she won't as she doesn't want you finding her with him. Don't keep her secrets, but you can't count on what her family friend will do. This friend may in fact know about the affair already and be facilitating it. You also can't discount the possibility that this is a continuation of things that happened when he was her student and that this is a long-term infidelity. I know the family friend where she would be staying. The AP lived out of town but now with his parents as far as I know, and she drives him around. I don't know who he is. These are all details from her mouth, so I don't know if they are true or not. As is obvious from her behavior, you can't trust a thing that she is telling you. If she says the sky is blue, I would confirm it with your own eyes before you should believe what she is telling you. She has shown that she is a liar and that she is continuing to do so. The fact that she is deleting messages and not showing you her phone tells you what you need to know. She is still in contact with him and the affair is still on. You can check her phone records from your carrier online. They won't give you the texts, but you will see each individual call and text that came to and from her phone. You will figure out AP's number and see the pattern from there. If they have gotten more sneaky, which I would expect, they will find a non-text means to contact each other, probably a communications app like Telegram, Signal, or even WhatsApp or Instagram. It is possible that she will hide the app icon in some folder to make it hard to find and might even uninstall it until she is ready to contact AP again. Just pointing out that she is still fully in the fog and she will pull every trick to continue to deceive you and protect her affair. Your suspicions and doubt about the breakup were dead on. Keep trusting your gut. I think your only option is to follow through with a lawyer. Remember that you can always stop the divorce process, but given your description of her behavior, there is no reason not to start it. Sorry that you are going through this, from one cheated on, former, husband to another. Thanks for the thoughtful reply. I have come to the same conclusions. Even though I am convinced divorce is the only option now, I still find myself trying to stop her destructive behavior and snap her out of it. I feel like it's in the kid's best interest that she wakes up from the fog. It is hard to disconnect my emotions from this. First, what you perceive as her self-destructive behavior is her choice. You may not agree with it, but it's clearly what she has chosen to do. Second, use this behavior to get yourself a better divorce agreement, including primary custody of the children. Third, once everything has been legally agreed to and your children are protected, then you can look into ways to get your wife back to someone who can play a meaningful role in your kids' lives. If you haven't figured it out yet, she has no respect for you and no problem lying to you. She's not trying to regain your trust, she's not really trying to reconcile, she's only trying to do the bare minimum to keep you around. The affair will keep going. Get a lawyer and file. There's at least a chance she might take notice if she really thinks you'll leave. Right now, she either doesn't believe you'll leave or doesn't care if you do. You won't fix anything by doing the pick-me dance. What you need is a lawyer, STD test and an exit strategy. Yeah, I have figured that out already. I believe she only cares about the house and kids. Living with WW in limbo update, link to previous post here. My D-Day was just over a month ago and I had my initial confrontation with WW in the middle of July. My wife of 17 years then showed me a fake breakup text exchange with her 25-year AP and continued to talk with him. I knew it was true because I had the phone records as people here suggested. I didn't want to disclose that fact just in case for some reason she saw the thread. So I continued to monitor and she kept talking to AP quite a lot over the next 2 weeks, all while pretending to be working on reconciliation, and meanwhile I had some time to contemplate what the heck I should do with my life. I was honest and said I didn't know if I wanted to reconcile or separate, but I was definitely leaning on the separate side. We've been sleeping in different rooms and staying in the same house with our kids. I've been trying to grey rock, but she really loves cornering me and trying to get me to talk. She was not doing a very good job at reconciliation. I sent her links recommended here about how cheaters can help heal their relationship, but she said it doesn't really apply as the people it talks about did worse things than she did and found it way too one-sided. She continued with victim blaming and kept telling so many lies. I told her I didn't believe the breakup, but she insisted it was over and didn't know how to prove it. I wonder why? I meanwhile started meeting a lawyer and I see. So about a week ago it was our wedding anniversary and I was thinking that it would be a good symbolic gesture for confrontation number 2. She got me a card and left it by my bed in the morning, but I refused to touch it. I didn't want to read any lies. I didn't get anything because seriously, what the heck is there to celebrate? Later in the day, I just told her I made up my mind and I wanted to separate. I said I know you've been talking with AP. She said no way, it's over and he's blocked. I said did you know that I can see a record of every phone call and text message received and sent on your phone? I know for a fact you are talking and texting to him for hours every day including today on our anniversary. How am I to trust anything you ever say again? So she admitted it. Yes, I have been talking but it's not what you think. It is platonic. His aunt committed suicide. He needed someone to talk to about it. I said you are still lying. This is why I want to separate. The trust is gone. I don't care anymore if you continue to contact him. Afterwards she was very shaken up. It has since been a week of pretty constant crying and self-pity. She is ashamed and embarrassed for what she has done and has kind of hit rock bottom. I think she finally realized the relationship with AP and feelings she had were superficial and is now seeing the destruction and mess that it has caused. She could end up losing her home, losing half her time with the kids. This one hurts her especially hard, and that if the truth comes out that she will be labeled as cheater and family destroyer and lose many of her friends. And then she could face problems with her job if the truth of AP comes out. She has not been telling her friends and family the truth, probably not even her therapist. She has also been telling me she has suicidal thoughts. I am really not sure if this is true or if she is trying to manipulate me to try and comfort her. For some reason I think it is the latter. I've been trying to get her family involved to help. It seems like the last week has been all about her and I have to remind her that I too have been going through hell. She seems to think that what she's going through is worse because she now accepts that this was her fault. I am pretty certain she finally stopped talking to AP. She has said some pretty authentic sounding admissions of how she fell into the affair and was addicted to the attention and only now realizes how stupid she was. She said she didn't even think about the effect on me. That she was living two separate lives and was under the illusion that they would just stay disconnected and that it would eventually end and I would never know. I still don't know exactly how to process that. There are still a lot of details that she has refused to clear up. I don't know how long the affair lasted. I am pretty sure it started around February and she says 1 or 2 months. She refuses to admit they had sex. I got STI tested just in case. I really don't like that I can't get the truth unless she is confronted with irrefutable evidence. This, the fake breakup texts, the months of lying, the gaslighting of marriage counseling during the affair, and lack of remorse all point me to separation as the only option. Her phone is still locked. My end goal though is to be able to have an amicable separation with joint custody and keep the door slightly ajar for possible hour down the road. You probably wonder why, but this whole episode is very out of character for her. I very much believe that she was suffering from depression and that she was partially taken advantage of. I want to give her a chance to fix herself, but she needs to do it on her own and I need space and time to see if I can ever forgive her. The problems are we still live together, and I do care about her and definitely want her to get help and not kill herself. I think a lot of her problem is fear of the unknown and ripping apart our codependency which has kept our home so stable until now. A part of me fears this as well. Should I just check her into a mental institution or should I be offering more support? Have other WPs acted in a similar way when their affair fog is lifted and put all the attention on themselves? I am guessing so because narcissists are narcissists. Anyone have experience with nesting arrangements where spouses take turns in their matrimonial home? That's the end of my rant. Thanks for reading. You need to focus on yourself and the children, even if she is there and even if she appears to finally realize what she did. She's really not there yet. And if she threatens suicide again, call the law, they will come, she will be put on a psych hold and may be released if she has adequate counseling. Tell her that too. You need to tell everyone before she paints you as the bad guy here, and she is not stable mentally and lashing out. She might just claim you are abusive, neglectful, etc. Be careful. Record all your conversations with her. You cannot trust her at all. It is up to her to fix herself, period. Don't slip back in now. If she does come back to you remorseful and begging for reconciliation, you can consider it, but it is a gift the betrayed can give with lots of boundaries, and for any reason they can take it away. Good luck. You need to tell everyone before she paints you as the bad guy here. You cannot trust her at all. It is up to her to fix herself, period. Take this advice. I won't assume she realizes anything because she is mopey and crying a lot. Most likely what she realizes is her world has blown up and she has to give up her boyfriend. I have no intentions of slipping back in at the moment. I only see her as a long-term possibility if she gets her shit together. Where I live, divorce is only recommended following a year of separation, so I am planning for separation first. She had no problem faking the breakup because she wasn't worried about the consequences. Now you are talking about offering her more support. Without even unlocking her phone. You are still being played. I am sorry to say. I guess the question is if I am an asshole by ignoring her threats of suicidal thoughts. I told her brother, who said she hadn't told her about it. I basically told him you need to look into her, but as far as I know nothing has happened. I told her to get a new IC but she won't. I told her to phone a suicide hotline but she won't. Wow, you are still doing the pick me dance and still no real consequences. She lies, gaslights and continues the affair, and all you do is say if you don't stop we are going to separate. Then you go into making excuses for her, like very out of character for her. I very much believe that she was suffering from depression. Why would she stop you having done nothing but talk and threaten separation and say even if we separate there is a chance for our all, so if you think your kids don't know something then you're more in the fog than her. You have basically told no one, you have not filed for divorce, shit, she still won't tell you the truth. How are you supposed to reconcile when she won't even tell you or admit what you are reconciling from? Then she says she is in more pain than you are making yourself a martyr to her. Why she is throwing you on the sword and jumping up and down on your back. Also the affair fog has not lifted. So your last part of how a WW spouse reacts when the fog is lifted. Her fog has never lifted because it has not been made to lift. This is one of the worst stories and cannot fathom how much you are hurting yourself and the kids in the long run. I know people will say I'm being too harsh and an asshole, but oh my ducking god. She is cheating with a student basically half her age, the student is a druggie and she has exposed you and to a much lesser extent your kids to diseases and other things. She is borderline committed and possibly actually committed statutory rape and violated all her teaching ethics. To all of this you just keep saying if you don't stop I'm going to separate from you and we can reconcile later. Please, if for nothing else your kids' sake, actually start protecting your kids from this person and her affair partner. You are making a shit ton of assumptions here and not being helpful to the conversation. When you are in a happy marriage for 16 years you get a pretty good idea who someone is. I'm not playing pick me, she can have him if that is what she wants. I am fully committed to the divorce path. You can't just go to a court and get a paper and plop it down like so many people seem to think here. Maybe it works like that in some places but not where I live. Do you really want to share the same roof with someone who has proven to be willing to lie to your face repeatedly, and has no respect for you or your wishes? No, I don't, but this was suggested to me by my lawyer as a temporary arrangement until separation agreement is in place. What I mean is renting an apartment and splitting it 50-50 with my wife and taking turns while keeping kids at the house. Other options are to continue to live in the house, or rent a second house with a makeshift custody agreement and shuttle kids back and forth, or nest and stay with family/friends. This isn't out of character. This is who she really is. Tell everybody about the affair including her job and file for divorce. She isn't sorry, she is sorry she got caught. This is bad advice. Well, the job part is. If she loses her job before the divorce then I would have to pay spousal support. I also don't want to scorch earth here. She's trying to control the narrative and how many people know about her infidelity. She doesn't sound remorseful. She sounds embarrassed that she was caught. There are really no consequences. She will just get better at hiding it. So nothing got better. She continues to manipulate you with the threat of suicide. She's only regretting the things she's ruined and the things she's about to lose. She didn't care about you and still doesn't. See a divorce lawyer and start divorce proceedings as soon as possible. You have to get out of this limbo. We hope that by sharing these stories with interested folks like you, we can help people recognize the signs of a relationship in trouble, and avoid so many of these heartbreaking situations yourselves. Have a good day or night, wherever you are.